I'm going to talk about 4 touch variations to ignite pleasure. Feels sort of a cheesy name, but maybe it got your attention. But first, I want to tell you about a workshop I'm offering this Saturday. It's actually a 3-part series, so there's 3 different Saturdays, the next 3 Saturdays in a row, and it's for couples, and you can come to 1, 2, or all 3 of them. And it's called Simple Sex. I'll put the link in the comments, but it's designed for both for couples that are struggling connecting with each other sexually and sensually, and it's going to give you ways to enter back into that connection if you're not there. So it's for that end of the spectrum, and then also for people who have a really good sex life with your partner, it can give you ways to deepen that, to find more pleasure, to learn new things, because our erotic experience really can be a vast thing. It's way bigger. There's so much more possible than what we think is possible. And so I'm going to teach different things to help you learn how to explore and expand your erotic map. So one of the things that we're going to go over this Saturday is these 4 touch variations. And what I find happening in myself, this has happened in my own experience, and then also with clients that I work with, is that we don't always know what we want. We don't always know what feels good in our own bodies. So we don't always know what to ask for or what to suggest to our partners or how to guide them. And then if you're touching your partner, you don't always know what they want, and it can be really hard to guess because it's like there's so many ways, so it can be just totally overwhelming to try and just guess something that might feel good. And so that's one side that can make it really hard, and the other side that makes it really hard is that we don't even know what's possible because we're not really taught how to touch each other. We're touched by people, we're touched by our parents, we're touched by our friends, we're touched by partners, but it's usually not actually with a lot of intelligence or awareness. We're not really taught how to touch each other well, or how to figure out how to touch each other. So these 4 variations, you can use them for all sorts of touch, whether you're just touching your partner's arm, and that can be a really great place to start, or if you're including more sexual touch. Okay, so the first one is location. So, different parts of the body, even ones that are right next to each other, like the inside of your elbow right here versus the inside right here, can feel really dramatically different. Same thing on the clitoris. One part can feel totally different than the other part. One leg might feel different than the other. Like, I don't know. I've seen weird things on people, and there's all sorts of varieties of experiences. And so that's the first one that you can play with. So say you're with your partner and it doesn't seem to be working, or you're trying to just explore and find what feels good, and you might just play with different locations on the body. You can do this on the genitals. So say you're mapping your partner's genitals, and you can just play with, like, what is it like when I touch you right here? And then move over a little bit, and like, what about right here? Move a little bit more right here. So you're just sort of slowly making your way around your partner's genitals, around your partner's bodies, to just sort of map and see what different things feel like. So that's the first one, location. These aren't in any particular order. They come out of my mouth in a different order every time I talk about them. But location is one. Direction is another. So stroking or touching going upwards on the body can feel really different than going downwards. This is especially true on your genitals. So stroking up can feel really different than stroking down. You might have a preference for one or the other. Side to side can feel really different. You can go in circles. There's all sorts of different directions that you can go, and that's just another thing that you can play with no matter where you're touching on someone's body. It's always so funny. I say this, I think, every time, to see who joins these Facebook Live things, like kids that I used to coach in gymnastics who are grown-ups now, and teachers that I had in high school, and my gymnastics coach, and people that I know. It's very entertaining to me. I sometimes wonder, some of you, like, that knew me when I was a kid, like, what do you think of this now? This whole like life, internet, Facebook, social media thing is very weird. Okay, so I digress. Talking about direction. So playing with that can be really helpful. So you might do a similar thing as the mapping, as I was just talking about, playing with location, where you just stay on one part of the body. So maybe you're partnered with a woman and you're playing with her genitals and you just start on the clitoris, or maybe not, whatever. This is not an exact, I'm not going to lay out the whole thing, but you're on her clitoris and you can just play with, like, what is it like if I go up and down? What is it like if I go side to side? What about in circles? What about diagonally? What about, just this spot right here, up and down? There's like a million different ways that you can play with this. So direction's the next one. So we have location, direction, speed, of course. So touching faster or touching slower. This can have really different effects on the body. Like if you're touching more quickly on the body, like even just on someone's arms or across their chest, whatever it is, it tends to be more enlivening and awakening and stimulating to their nervous system, to their body. So it's going to be more wakeful and energizing. It can sometimes get too stimulating where the person gets into hyper arousal, not sexual arousal, but nervous system arousal. And that's not so fun because that leads to fight or flight, and then it's just a whole thing. So if you're with a partner and you're noticing that they're getting like a little too stimulated, or if you're being touched and you're getting too stimulated, have them slow down. If your partner is touching you and you're starting to fall asleep, and that's not what you want to have happen, have them speed up the touch a little bit because that can wake you up a little bit more. Pressure is the last one. So softer or harder. Similarly to speed, these can have really different impact on your nervous system. So if you touch with more pressure, it's usually going to be more down-regulating and relaxing to your nervous system, which may or may not be the experience that you want to have. If you are doing lighter touch, that's generally more activating and engaging to the nervous system. You can think of it, you can even just practice it on your arm or your hand right here, like that super, super light touch that almost tickles. For most people, that's really enlivening and activating. It actually makes me crazy and angry. So I don't like to be touched that way, but some people really love it. Like I had a partner who that kind of touch would put him to sleep. And it's so amazing to me because it makes I get enraged when someone touches me like that. And it made him go to sleep. So the point of sharing that is that I can't tell you what's going to feel good to you or to your partner. You get to use these different variations to find and discover what feels good. And so if you're with a partner, one thing that you can do that's really helpful is to set aside a chunk of time, like 10 minutes, start small, where one of you is the focus of the attention. And you can decide which parts of your body are in bounds. So it doesn't have to be your whole body. You could just say, hey, just touch my arm and let's play with this. Or it could be full body, everything. And then it's just one-way touch. So partner A is touching partner B the whole time. And then you'll switch so that partner A gets to be touched by partner B. But you get to then play with all of these different things. And if you're the one touching, you get to menu different options to partner B. So you might start off with really slow pressure. Slow touch with quite a bit of pressure, because that can be really down-regulating and calming to the nervous system. And then you just get to play from there. You get to play with different locations, different speeds, different pressures, and offer them different things. And then if you're the one being touched, you can make requests and you can use these different things because they're so simple, right? It's like, hey, that doesn't quite feel right, but will you go a little faster? Try going a little bit faster. No, that doesn't feel good either. Try going in a different direction. Or what if you move a little bit to the left or a little bit to the right or something like that? It gives you a shared language to be able to find together what feels good so that the pressure isn't on one of you entirely. You get to then figure out together what works. And then you also get to find new things, right? So if you set aside a chunk of time to do this, you might start to uncover and discover new things that you'd never tried on yourself because you'd never thought to try them, because how would you necessarily? We don't tend to be super creative in how we touch ourselves. And so you might start to uncover and learn new things that feel really good to your body that you didn't know were possible. Okay, those are the 4 touch variations. I'll name them again. So there's location, direction, speed, and pressure. If you have questions, you can type them in. I'm going to put the website for the couples workshops. Hi, Sarah, you gave me a heart. I can't type and talk at the same time. Okay, so that's the link. I think I'm going to offer this because I've had a few people ask. But I'm going to offer some version of this couples work online because there's people all over the world. Not everyone's in Boulder, obviously. Although sometimes I wish everyone would come here and visit me because then I could just see all the people that I love. But offering it online as a way for other people to get to learn how to connect and deepen and have more fun in their sex life with their partners. So keep an eye out for that if you're not local to Boulder. And if you are local to Boulder and you want to come on Saturday, head to the website. I think there's just 2 more spots for this Saturday, so it's filling up fast. All right, that's all for today. See, I'm doing these every week, so if you're still here 10 minutes in, 12 minutes in, know that I'm doing these every week, every Wednesday at 3 p.m., offering some little tidbit and information to help with your erotic life. And I take requests. So if you have a request of something that you're struggling with, that you want help with, or that you're curious about, or that you just want to hear my take on, let me know, and I can probably tailor something to it. All right, have a good one.